I think you just have to give time, just let things go, and eventually just it will all settle down. And if you're the kind of musicians that play in a band, uh, just if you have an opportunity to play, just do it. Like screw it, do it. Just make the most out of it as much as you can. And I think, how can I say? I know it's been hard for most of us, like everyone in the music world. I'm not gonna say industry. We're not in the industry at all. But yeah, just do whatever it takes to play simply.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host Brian, and joining me today, coming from up north, Miguel Dion. How you doing, brother?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Or Michael Dion, because I guess before meeting he said that was fine too, so whichever.
Yeah.
But in the French term, we go Michael to be
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
respectful.
Yeah, it's me. It's Mikael, but yeah, where I live, people call me Mike usually. So
I guess where at up north are you hailing from?
I'm in Quebec, French Canadian, and I'm near the town of Rimouski, which is just east of Quebec City, a couple hours on the road. But yeah, so
Born and raised?
that's it. No, actually, I've been in Rimouski for 10 years now for my studies at university. But before I went to Rimouski, I was on the other side of the St. Lawrence River.
I see. That's good to hear. So, welcome to my podcast, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied right there, but this one, I just like to interview drummers just to get them know them a little bit more. And you've been part of our drummer collaborations. I know the one was with Queen, Another One Bites the Dust. Was there any other ones you were part of?
I was not part of Another One Bites the Dust, but I was part of the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, I think, 21 Guns as well, White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. Are there any that I'm forgetting?
That's right. It was the White Stripes. I'm sorry. That's right. You weren't part of. No.
Yeah, White Stripes. I think we were both in this one.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I do remember being that.
Yeah.
But I thought you were in the Another One Bites the Dust. But no, that was a big John Brooks and
No.
I'm trying to remember who else filled in like other people. Julian Kramer, yeah, or Cremo Music. I think he had to fill in your shoes. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
all right. So it's good to have you on here, buddy. So just got some questions here
Thank
for
you.
you. So you ready?
Yep.
All right. So let's start with the first one. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Michaela Dion, and how did you get into
Oh
drumming?
boy. Oh, well, first of all, I was first introduced to drums. I think I was around 7 or 8 years old. My older cousin, who is like 18 years older than me, was playing drums, and I used to go to his house and see him play with his band, and that's where I really got into drumming. But I never really had the opportunity to play drums until I was like 16, 17 years old. And it was always like once a week. It was for a school project back then. And we had only like an hour to play once a week. And it's always been like that, I think, for the last 16 years. I never had really a place where I could like access to my drums easily. So I always had to deal with this. And so I only had like once a week be able to go play my drums. And so, yeah. And when I first played drums at 16, I had a band with my friends back then, obviously. And we did a show at the end of the year, which is like a talent show or something like that. And we did 2 nights in a row. And then I took a break from drums for a year or 2. I was a keyboardist for another band the year after. And after that, I went back to drumming. And I used to play on someone else's kit until around 2009. So ever since, I've been playing drums with different bands, and now here in Rimouski as well.
I see. That was actually my other question. I guess outside keys, I guess, first off, how did you get into keyboarding?
Oh, I think I first started playing keyboards before playing drums, and we had a keyboard laying around at home, and I was never really interested in it in first place. But I remember I was playing Final Fantasy IX back then, and just the theme of the game was like, hey, maybe I can play this on the keyboard, and I just fiddled around the keyboard and managed to play it, and that's when I really got into keyboards a bit. And I still have a keyboard today, and I still play once in a while. And so that's when I really started playing keyboards. But I just had one band. I did like a couple shows, and that's probably it.
That's about it, yeah. I guess, have you played any other instruments, or is it just strictly keyboards and drums?
No, I also played a bit of electric guitar. Actually, my first video on my channel is a guitar video. And then afterwards, it was drums. But yeah, I play a little bit of electric guitar as well.
I see, yeah. He's doing it all, man. He could be his own one-man army. Hey.
Almost. I do back vocals in my other bands and all that stuff. So I'm just missing the bass.
Yep.
I just need a bass, and I can be a full one-man band.
Yeah, there we go. I guess, speaking of your bands, I guess, walk us through them. I guess, start off with your first band, I guess, work up to your current band right now.
All the bands that I had. Yeah, well, the first band, as I said earlier, it was with my friends back in high school. But we played only like 2 songs. It was For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica and Animals by Nickelback. And it was only for that specific year. Afterwards, when I was playing keyboards, we did like Nightwish, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, and all that stuff. We did a couple of shows as well. And then the next band that I had, it was a power metal band, more or less. We played some Stratovarius, Sonata Arctica. Did we have Nightwish as well? I don't remember. Oh, we had Scorpions. We played Rock You Like a Hurricane, like a power metal version of it. And it was pretty dope. So yeah, it was more towards power metal. And then when I got to university, when I went to Rimouski, the first band that I had was with one of the other students in my class, and we played mostly punk rock songs like Green Day, Blink-182, Rise Against, and all that stuff. But after like a year, we decided to split up. I was going to do other projects with one of my friends that never happened because we tried to play prog metal mostly, so Dream Theater and all that stuff. But we couldn't find any other musicians other than drums and guitar to fill in the gaps. So screw it. And then my main band, who is called Azimuth, I've been in this band for 6 years now, I think. Yeah, it's going to make 6 years in November. And we do mostly like private events, festivals, and like to make people dance mostly. So we go from many centuries ago to nowadays. And so this is my main band. And it's just, even if it's simple songs on the drums, they're just so much fun to play, and just seeing people dance, that's what gives me like the energy, you know. And recently, well, in 2019, when just before the pandemic hit, my punk rock band back in university, we decided to bring it back, and we managed to play one show before our guitar player went to the Netherlands for his job. And then, you know, the pandemic hit and we couldn't do any more shows, but it's back on track. So I have actually 2 bands, Azimuth for main events, private parties, festivals, more dance evenings and all that. And then I have the punk rock stuff to play in bars and like the other spectrum of the thing. So yeah, that's about
the
it.
Darker side of music. So I guess we could,
yeah, right.
it could be like a yin yang kind of sort of thing. Yeah, right there.
It's almost that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess where's your kid at by any chance? Is it nearby by?
Oh, no. About my kit is not at home, unfortunately. I had it in my basement for few months, I think, when we first got the house in 2017. That's when I was like, yeah, I can finally play my drums at home. But where I live, like every house is pretty close to each other. So, and to make things worse, the closest neighbor was doing night shift. So I like was sleeping. I was playing on during lunchtime, and he was sleeping at that time. So it was really he hated it. So I got an anonymous letter saying that my drums were too disturbing and all that stuff. So I didn't want to go into like all the crazy stuff with the police and all that. I was kind of okay, that's fine. I'm gonna deal with something else. So now I have a like a drum studio, if you call it that way, in an office building, and the office space is currently unoccupied. And the owner said, "Well, I can lend you that space like whenever you want until someone wants to rent the space." And I've been in this place since 2020, and still nobody was interested in the office space at the moment. So fingers crossed.
Yes.
Let's hope that it's gonna keep going.
Yep. We always find a good Samaritan here somewhere. I guess
Yeah.
walk us through it. What is your current kit?
This is a Tama Imperial Star. This is the first and only kit that I've bought. I got it in 2009. And ever since, I've added a few things. Obviously, when I first bought it, it was like the typical five-piece kit that you buy. One thing that I regret, though, is sorry. The one thing that I regret is maybe not getting the fusion kit instead of the rock kit, because when I first bought it, I had the 12 and 13 rock toms, and eventually the 13 just I ditched it because first it was hard to tune because of the close diameter with the 12-inch, and it would not allow me to put my toms at a comfortable height and angle for me. So eventually I special ordered the 10-inch tom, which took about 8 months to get. That was really painful. And then by the time I wanted to add more, I added the 14 floor tom and the 8 rack toms, but the Tama wouldn't do this finish anymore. So I had to scour eBay and all that stuff to find them. And I happened to find them brand new. So I was like really lucky on that. So I expanded the kit throughout the years, and yeah, so still rocking the same kit, just changing the heads, and you're good to go. Typically,
I see. Have you always rolled with acoustic kits, or have you ever experimented with electric kits?
I never owned an electric kit. If you go back like, well, almost 10 years ago, I really wasn't excited about electric kits, but now that they have evolved to where they are right now, especially the Roland lines when you go to the TD17 and all that stuff, it's really interesting. And to be honest, today I wouldn't mind having an electric kit at home to just play whenever I want, and maybe like live stream and all that stuff. So yeah, I never owned an electric kit, but I've played a few in music shops and all that stuff. So it was always interesting to experiment with these. But in the end, no, I just had acoustic kits.
It's funny when you mention about the live streams too, because it seems like everybody in our community is starting to jump on it now. Because I know Mike Few, I guess
Yeah.
he started doing it too, but they always pick the wrong times, to be honest. But the funny thing is like they're in that time zone where it's like a 6-hour difference between like where we're at and where they're at and everything. So normally 12 o'clock our time is now like 6 o'clock their time, so it's almost going on 7 o'clock their time right now. So it's almost like I'm still working or I'm going on lunch break. I need a nap or something like that. So I feel bad.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel bad, but I guess would your live streams just be strictly drum covers, that sort of thing?
If I had to do streams, oh, maybe drum covers, maybe, or any kind of challenges that people may throw at me or anything. I don't know. I never really thought about it, to be honest. But yeah, mainly just play whenever I want, and maybe even take special requests as well.
I see. Yeah, that's kind of the way to go about it these days, though. But
Yeah, just to get involved in the community and the viewers and all that. So yeah, I think it's the way to go as well.
yeah, I know. Daddy Drums, David. He also he jumps on Twitch a
Yeah,
lot. So
yeah,
I guess have you?
it's pretty fun. Same thing with Daddy Drums. Like he's living in Spain, so there's like a time difference between them and us. You're on the East Coast as well, right?
Yeah, I'm all along the East Coast there, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
am I?
So we have like 6, even more than that, I think. No, I think it's about 6 hours too.
It is a 6 hour
But
difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually when I end up watching his stream, I'm just lurking and I'm working while I'm just lurking on his stream. So sometimes when I take a break, I go to his stream and try to interact with him and all that. But yeah, it's just hard to keep up with him.
Yeah, I know what you mean too, and it's always funny with Ash Wells's ones too, because his normally just lasts a couple minutes because he's just doing the one drum cover right then and there, but then like
Yeah.
everybody else is like doing a couple hours of like drum covers and stuff like that. I know.
Hmm.
I think it was Mark Drums. Crap, I forget the guy's name at the moment, but I know it was Mark to start off with. But I had stumbled upon his because I know John Brooks had mentioned him in his videos a couple times, so
Okay.
I think I just stumbled upon the guy was being live, so I figured, oh, I'll go in and see what he's doing. I think he was doing a Pantera's Cemetery Gates, so I was
Okay.
actually pretty thrilled about that,
Nice.
and I gave him a request to do Ride the Lightning by Metallica. So I don't know if he got to it because I know he started tuning and everything, and at that point I wasn't sure how long he was going to be, so eventually I backed
Yeah.
out because I don't know. I don't want to say it was getting boring, but it was the thing was there wasn't really a whole lot of people in a chat. I wanted to get a little bit more interactiveness, so
Yeah.
that's probably the
I get
hardest
that.
thing about it.
Mm.
I guess before I jump into the part about the electric and the acoustic drums, I guess who would
Yeah.
you say is your biggest influencers?
Oh God.
Where to begin?
Well, I can say that the first metal band that I listened to was Rammstein. So Christoph Schneider was definitely one of them. But I quickly got into Dream Theater, and Mike Portnoy was definitely my biggest influence for the next 10 years or so. And when he quit Dream Theater, now I was interested in some of his projects like Transatlantic and all that. I already listened to that, but I just lost track a bit of what he's been doing. But deep inside, he's still one of my biggest influences. And nowadays, I look up to a bunch of drummers. I go like all the way: Thomas Lang, Benny Greb, Achilles Priester. Who else? Man, there are so many. There's so many drummers. Like they have all that special thing about each and every one of them. So yeah, it's hard to choose, honestly. But yeah, nowadays I'm like a bit everywhere. But my main influence when I was younger was definitely Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, I could see why too. And I've
Hmm.
actually covered a couple from the Mike Portnoy era. But you know,
Yeah.
I feel bad too if nobody seems to give Mike Mangini much credit either because
Oh well, no, I absolutely give him credit for his technique, his just the way he plays and all that. I think it was when I watched the auditions for Dream Theater. The second I saw Mike Mangini, I was like, he's gonna be the one that's gonna end up with the band because it was the only one that would fit perfectly with the other guys. So I was like, nah, it's gonna be Mike Mangini, and I was like, I was quite happy about that. And even though I was not a big fan on how the band ended up writing their stuff, I was never really into it. Maybe the first couple of albums, but after that, like The Astonishing, I never really listened to that one. But the Dream Theater album and a dramatic turn of events, I listened to them like a couple of times, yeah. But I don't think it's because of Mangini that I'm not listening to Dream Theater anymore. It's just the way they sound now. I'm just not a big fan on how they sound. It's just that.
I see. But I would say I was listening to The Alien the other day. I was driving
Yeah.
to my second job, which was actually pretty cool. I think when I started getting into the keyboard and the guitar solos there, I was like, what was that? That sort of thing. Because it was like,
Yeah.
it was that mind blowing kind of moment there. And then I wanted to listen to it again when I got home and like see like, oh, how badass was this song and everything. And you see like how long like some of these songs are. They're like 9, 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So that's always an interesting part. Have you ever played like songs that were that long?
Oh yeah. Well, I was a big. Well, obviously, I'm a big fan of Dream Theater and their old stuff. So I play many songs of them. I've played a couple songs on my channel as well. Some of them has been blocked now because when Sony took over,
Of course.
like many videos were blocked. But yeah, I was actually used to play longer songs. So because I kind of grew up with Dream Theater, so 9, 10, 15, 19-minute songs, it's like no problem for me. I even say that I can technically play a Change of Seasons, even if it's like 25 minutes long, if it's not more than that. So yeah, no, I don't have any problem with playing long songs like that.
He's confident. He's confident, man.
Well, not too confident. I'm not trying to look confident, but yeah, I know I just grew up listening to this, so some of their songs are like pretty much easier now to play, but there are some other that like no, I can't play that still.
Yeah, I know what you mean too, especially if it's a crazy sort of pattern with like odd time signature and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
where's the snare go and everything? And or is it like, there's too many snares in it at once, or it's like ghost notes and stuff like that. I wasn't really into like more of the progressive style because when I
yeah,
was growing up too, it was the straight classic rock stuff. So like the Black Sabbath,
hmm,
Dio,
okay,
Alice
yeah,
Cooper, and that stuff. Those kind of guys. And then he never really got into like the '80s, and then maybe when I started doing some of the progressive stuff, I think progressive wise at most it might have been like Jethro Tull and maybe a little King Crimson, but maybe
okay.
that'd be the extent of it. I guess when you were growing up, I guess what music were your parents listening to that kind of influenced your music taste?
Oh, uh, well, first of all, I was raised. My mom was like the only parent that uh, was there, but she never really listened to a lot of music. I think she listened a bit to Bon Jovi, I think, and really random stuff. Like she really liked like original soundtrack CDs from movies, and I think one of them is like the Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler, I think. So yeah, there's a couple of songs that this album I just had them on my head. Yeah, and she listened to Ricky Martin as well. It was like really odd, but yeah, so it was like a real mix of everything. But I don't really recall like hearing a lot of music at home when I was young. It was more like on myself. My cousin made me discover Rammstein when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and then he made me discover Dream Theater, and I just explored from that. But I was always like a rock metal guy, but I wouldn't mind listening to pop and all that stuff as well. But no, my mom was not listening to a lot of music when I was young.
You had to develop the taste on your own, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. With my older brother as well. So
I see. And I guess it's sort of images and words with Dream Theater, or I guess was there a different group that kind of got you into the metal scene,
oh,
causing you to dig deep here? Let's see if we
hmm,
can dig deep. Let's see if we can do it.
I think I could say that Images and Words was one of the first albums that I listened from Dream Theater. I think it was Pull Me Under. I think the first song that I heard was Pull Me Under.
Was it?
And my brother uh, showed it to me because of our cousin. My cousin showed Dream Theater to my brother, and my brother showed Dream Theater to me. And I think yeah, "Pull Me Under" was definitely one of the first tracks that I heard from them.
Yeah, I had to cover that one recently, and I did solo wise. I also did it with a fellow drummer, Stamatis, who's a real big Dream Theater fan, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a little tricky at first, especially each build up to
Yeah.
like the chorus. I know that was probably the one part that kind of got me a little bit, especially near the end too. So I would say for the most part,
Yeah, there are some tricky stuff near the end that you're like, oh gosh, you gotta learn them, which I from memory typically. So yeah.
I know I screwed up the first time we were doing. It was just me and Stamatis. I know I screwed that one up, but I was surprised he actually kept that in because I thought he was going to jump back and forth. Because ironically, it was like the first two, if you know what I mean, like the two. If you're kind of distinguishing them like two separate parts, but there's the two sections of like going near the end there, and then as it kept going, I started getting the hang of it because then it started clicking a little bit more. So
Yeah, like that.
actually,
Like
well,
that.
it's like that, but then like you hear the keyboards like building up in the background there, and then all of a sudden it's like
Oh, okay, yeah.
it just stops. That's why I kind of like made the heart kind of face at the end when I was like,
Oh,
that's the core thing. I was like, stop.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, actually, I was actually taken off guard by it too. The first time I was started listening to it because it was like it just stopped. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
funny thing about it. So
Hey, it's just like so sudden. Like it's like, okay, cut it.
all right, that's enough. Enough. We already
Yeah,
played.
you're
We already played over 8
No
minutes
more
already.
tape. No more tape.
Which in that day, I think it was like an analog instead of like what's going on in today's recording. So maybe it was like, all right, that's it. Enough analog.
What?
We used enough analog. We gotta charge you a lot
We're
more.
out of budget. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. All right. But Dream Theater, I know the Octavian album was always a big personal favorite of mine. Even though
Yeah.
Panic Attack may seem a little out of my wheelhouse because he probably has a lot more of the drum sets or drum pieces, I should say, that it's incorporated into the song there too. But
Yeah.
this question, kind of going back to my original point, if you were to
Yes.
get an electric set, would you want to merge your acoustic kit and an electric set together? Kind of make that electric set maybe like a percussion, for instance?
Like a hybrid kit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought about it, yeah, because with my dance party band, I think it would be somehow useful at some point with depending on the songs that we will play. So yeah, I think it would be a great addition to my setup actually. So yeah, I think I would do it definitely.
Yeah, we could be make the one section like a cowbell, for instance, and get everyone just dancing all over the place.
Yeah, or a clap sound or something like that.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I know with the touchpads, this one goes to Mike Lewis. Shout out to Mike right there. I had interviewed him not too long ago.
Yeah.
Actually, I interviewed a lot of you Canadians too. There's a lot of you guys up there, so it's good
Yeah.
to see. Let's keep it coming. So, but I see him in his videos. He has like a touchpad. I don't know how many times he's actually used it. I gotta check out more of his videos because the ones I seen were like his Pantera cover. I know he did a collaboration with Joey Clark, 5 Minutes Alone, that sort of thing. So
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how many times he uses it, but that's kind of the
Oh.
point I see there with like the electric set, having like those little touchpads there, just able to tap and make any sort of like electric beat kind of noises too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, do you guys experiment with kind of the electronic EDM sort of music too in your current band?
The most electronic or EDM stuff is happening towards like in the keyboard land. Our keyboardists have like two. She has a digital piano and an actual keyboard, where she can just launch a sequence at a specific tempo. She likes to use arpeggios and all that stuff. So it's more towards the keyboardist. It's her job. I'm not interfering with her job. I'm just going, okay, just start it off. I'll follow you, and we'll be good.
I'll follow you, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one I should have asked it sooner, but what kind of drumsticks do you use currently? And have you jumped around with like previous sticks, or you still use like the same ones?
No, I jumped from a few kind of sticks. My first ones were Vic Firth 5As when I started playing drums, and I tried Regal Tip as well at one point. It's like I think Regal Tip is a Canadian drumstick manufacturer, if I recall correctly. And I went with the 5As as well, but they were more slippery. Once my hands went wet, Sometimes the sticks will fly off. So I went back to Vic Firth 5As, and as time went on, I developed my muscles even more, and I was finding the 5As a little too lightweight. So I switched to the 5Bs like a couple of years ago, and I'm still using 5Bs today. And whenever I go back to 5A, I'm like, oh crap, that is so light. I just can barely play with them. So yeah, 5B is my go-to sticks. And it's funny because I've seen people say, "When you're playing with tree trunks or something," because most of them are like, they're too big for me, but I'm comfortable with them, so I just go with it.
Yeah, I normally when you get into the more faster kind of metals, extreme
Yeah.
extreme metal or any death metal, for instance, you want them to be as light as possible because you got to hit your snare, hi hat, one of your cymbals, or a ride as fast as you can because everyone wants to. It's all about speed these days. It's like.
Yeah, totally.
Which, well, for some of them, I shouldn't say all of them, but some of them have actually incorporated some of the elements from like the 90s that grew up right there. And I know Cryptopsy was one of the few Canadian bands I had actually found out. And that one is how to describe it. That's what your parents think death metal sounds like, and be like, and you'd be right. And you just listen to that and be like, yeah, that's as close as accurate as you're going to be. So that's the thing. So I guess, did you ever experiment with any like death metal and stuff like that?
Not really. I was never a big fan of death or black metal as well. Musically, some bands I've heard a few songs and I was like, yeah, I like those. But playing death metal and black metal, I was never really into it. Just fast stuff, blast beats, and all that kind. I've never been a fan of that. I like typical, typical? I like progressive stuff, like where your feet do something else from your hands instead of just constant double bass. Even though I like power metal, like Stratovarius and all that stuff, I like that kind of music. But just constant blast beats and all that stuff is just, it's not my thing. I like more musical and more dynamics in my playing in general. So yeah.
I see. But I guess let's jump into your YouTube channel a little bit. I guess when did you start? When did you start it? So.
Oh, it's been over 10 years now, I think. Well, let me check. I think it's about 10 years ago. If it's not more, I think it was 2009.
I guess you said you were going to drop some live footage of some of the concerts you recently did. I guess.
Yeah, I did actually uploaded like a kind of mashup, a video of my drum cam during one of the shows that we did on early August. And it was a summer festival that we have once a year here in Rimouski. And so, yeah, it was like our first show in the last 3 years. So we were really pumped about it. And yeah, so I decided to film the whole thing and just mash it up together and just put like a compilation of the event on my YouTube channel, as well as a couple of shorts that you may have seen. But yeah, so that's all the footage that I have, unfortunately.
I see. What do you think of like doing like maybe a vlog or something like that, or kind of like one of those documentaries where the camera like pans out and it kind of shows you like doing what we're doing here? You're kind of like just talking into your microphone.
Well, I thought of doing vlogs at some point, but just the logistics of it is not easy to do. And especially with the event that we did early August, it was like really fast paced. Like we had, even though the first band that were doing the sound check were late, so we had way less time to do the sound check. So we had to hurry up, set the things up, do the sound check, and just like I think half an hour later we would do the show. So I just had time to go eat lunch, dress up, and you're good to go. And after that, when we finished, we had like 15 minutes to remove all the instruments from the stage for the next band. So for this specific event, it was really hard to just imagine doing a vlog for this. Maybe in some other shows with my punk rock band, eventually when we play in bars and all that stuff, I may be able to do vlogs and all that. I would like to do that. But I don't know. I just have to find the right time, I guess.
I see. The reason why I always blame Sacha for it, Virtua Drummer. and
Mm-hmm.
because that's what he started doing. Obviously, it seems to work for him, but regardless, it shows him like just riding in his car. And he just kind of describes the whole event, and then he just jumps back and forth with the footage every now and again, here and there, just like
Yeah.
whatever song he's playing in. I guess he's in a two different like cover groups right now. I guess he's jumped around a little bit just to keep himself occupied. But I it made me rethink because I used to try to do vlogs, but mine were just like personal and it was just kind of messing around, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they were all tied to music in some way. So
Mm-hmm.
recently it started coming back to me. Maybe I should try this again and then see how it can work too, because you're obviously not going to make anything just doing drum cover stuff since it's copyrighted material and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I figured, I think you could probably try doing more with like talking and stuff like that, or just like any sort of vlogs and anything else. So that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Was there any other like kind of videos you did try with your YouTube channel, or is there something you hope to try in the future?
I tried a couple of different kind of videos on my channel. I tried to do, well, as you said, with you know the drill. When we do drum covers, we're all stuck with copyright claims and all that stuff. So I tried to reach out to a little more people with videos like product reviews and art tips and tricks that I also plan to do. I have a couple of videos planned out. Like some of the scripts have been written, but I don't know when I'm gonna shoot them. So, but I kind of want to do more tips or tricks videos, like what I've learned throughout the years of my experience, what I can share with the other people of the community. So that's pretty much where I'm going to, but I'm still going to do drum covers as well. And I also have maybe a few collaborations planned for the coming months or something like that. Of course, I have shows coming up with both of my bands. So YouTube-wise, videos are gonna be like really spaced out.
Sporadic,
I
yeah.
won't have really much time to because when I go back from a show, I go to my studio, I put the drums there, but I barely have the time to set them up again and just hit record. So I'm always like juggling with playing live, making videos. So yeah, so the videos are gonna be on a halt for now, and but I try to I will experiment with other stuff eventually.
I see. That's good to hear. I guess. How bad are the copyright stuff in Canada? Are they pretty stringent with like what sort of music you can put up on each channel?
What do you mean exactly?
I think in like I think going back to like Mike Few and like in some places in the UK, you can't put up like certain bands like Prince, for instance,
Yeah.
or like the Beatles, that sort of thing. If you want to like cover any of those, is Canada kind of the same way?
There are, but well, as I mentioned earlier, since Sony took over Dream Theater, since they switched label, some of my Dream Theater videos were blocked. I had 2 Under a Glass Moon videos that were blocked, as well as 1 short. And my Metropolis Part 1 cover was blocked as well, which was a bummer, to be honest, because Metropolis Part 1 is a hard song to play, and I put a lot of effort just to play and record it, and also in one go, so it's not easy. So I was a little bummed about that, but the other band that have really a lot of trouble to deal with is Rammstein. The second they hear a little bit of their song, it's automatically blocked worldwide. I think I have one video that's still up because my drum mix is so much higher than the actual song. You can barely hear the song underneath. And that's the only way that I could figure out to prevent any copyright. But it still has the copyright claim, I think, but it's not blocked.
It says it's at least
So,
allowed
yeah.
to be on YouTube, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So it's Dream Theater and Rammstein mostly.
It's always funny with Rammstein because first off, they always play like some sort of song on the radio channels I always tune into when I'm driving, and I always thought of them as more hard rock. I never really thought of them as metal. Is it kind of because of like the heaviness at times in some of their songs?
Oh, well, I have every CDs that they've put out, and they definitely have a metal aspect to it. It's more of an industrial metal, I think, and Yeah, maybe some songs that they choose to put up on the radio, maybe like more. I don't know how to say this, like listenable to a broader audience. I guess. But some of their heavier stuff is definitely more metal, and especially one of their albums. I think they put out in 2009. Liebe ist für alle da, I think it's called. This one is definitely metal. Like the drums, it's less like a constant beat going on with the bass drum. It's more metal like. But yeah, usually it's a mix of rock and metal. I could say yeah.
I see. Yeah, I think For Fry. I think that was another song I was
Uh-huh.
listening to. Yeah, I guess they've been known to always have like some sort of controversy. I forget which
Hmm.
song it was, but I think it was one kind of delve into like the sadomasochism sort of thing. It was like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. They were banned in a few countries because of that.
yeah, I can imagine why. Because
Yeah.
actually, I think the first time I heard it, we were in a Hard Rock Cafe. I think that was actually in London. Actually,
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's actually where the first Hard Rock actually happened there too. So, and
Mm.
you know, in the Hard Rock Cafe, for people who don't know, they always play like every sort of music video, or there's like some sort of live footage every now and again that they'll play on their
Oh
TVs,
crap.
and they have like some sort of instruments that was like autographed or was like played by some musicians here and there. So it was always interesting. But I remember seeing it for the first time, and you see like lights all lights up his mouth and everything. It's like a light bulb here and
Yeah.
there and everything. So it's like, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
But I think in their personal story, I think they had gone through the Cold War. I don't know if they were in East Germany or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that. I think some of the members were on both sides of Berlin, and I think I remember Christoph saying that he wanted to have a DW drums back then, and there was one in a shop on East Germany. Yeah, East Germany, and he managed to go from the west to the east, where he went to meet one of the guitar players, Richard, I think. So yeah, there was. It must not have been really easy at that time with all that was going on.
Absolutely not. I'll tell you that much. And
uh,
actually, not to get off track, but especially on one of our trips when we had gone along the Danube River with my parents, we had went to Bratislava, and
okay.
that was one of the occupied territories under the Soviets. And
Oh really?
yeah, there were times you could definitely see the signs. Like it was pretty obvious. It still left the impact from what the Soviets did when they occupied that region. So
Mm.
it's still there. So it's powerful stuff to say the least. But
Yeah, it's like a little bit awkward. No?
yeah, in
Mm.
a sort of way, but it's at least the historical impact. So it at least tells you to not
Yeah,
have this happen again. But
mm.
we shall see.
Of course.
But
Yeah,
let's get back into drumming. Let's not get darky
yeah.
here. All right. All right. So, what do you love most about drumming?
Oh, I think it's just the feeling of just feeling the drums when you play them, especially acoustic kits, of course. And but mostly the therapeutic side of playing drums. Like, it's just so liberating to just pound on things, and it's just it feels great when you end up like pulling out a beat. Then you're like, oh yeah, now I can pull it. It sounds clean and all that stuff, and then my ghost notes are great and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just fun in general to play drums, and anybody can play drums. Everybody can love playing drums. Every time we have someone over and like, hey, go, take my sticks and go play. And they're like, oh, that's crazy, I love that. And so yeah, mainly the therapeutic side of things, I think, is the most obvious one. It just help me to just free up my mind and think of and anything else, just to get away of the everyday life, if you will.
Yeah, I guess it's me too. And that's normally they're one of the number one responses that you normally get in these kind of
Hmm.
interviews too, where it's normally therapeutic. Or
Yeah.
if you have like a day that you are depressed, maybe like a hard day from work and stuff like that, you just go down and like just play on your drums a little bit. I will say I've had tendencies if I'm mentally exhausted and stuff like that. I haven't noticed to get angered pretty quick if I hit my cymbal, for instance, and I lose my stick, like coming up underneath it and stuff like that. Then I get a little bit angry too. So, needless to say, it's more like kind of be in the right mindset. Don't be overly exhausting, so to speak. So
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. Jumping back into your YouTube channel, I guess, what are your goals and plans for this year?
Oh, I don't have anything planned specifically for my channel. Of course, I've reached the 500 subs recently. I think it was in July, June. I don't remember. But yeah, it was fun to see this, and especially when I've been like under 100 subs for most of the life of my channel. I was until 2 years ago, I think, when Drumman 190 made a shout out to my channel, as well as Eric from the Dramatic. And that's when I started to get more subs. I passed 100 subs, and then the 200, and now recently I got the 500. So I think the next goal will be maybe 600 by the end of the year, if it can happen. But I don't think it will happen because I won't be able to put out as much videos as I would like. So I don't really have a specific goal right now for my channel.
So many videos, so little time, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know. Kind of recently I had a little bit of trouble because it really stinks too when you're especially working really hard and then you see like you lose subscribers, even if you have like a consistency to it. That's the thing that kind of bugs me too, especially because my goal is to at least put out 3 videos a week, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But
That's quite a lot.
it is too. But one of them's like these kind of interviews. There's like a drum cover,
Yeah,
drum collaboration,
right.
or some sort of live footage I took because there's a little bit of venue not too far from me, so I go there and sometimes film some footage. Or I still have like a Gojira and Deftones videos I haven't released yet, so I gotta get those up and running too. So
Oh, you have a Gojira.
I did, yeah. That was I don't know if I told you where I lived at. I lived in the Pittsburgh region down here in the States.
Okay.
And they had came. The first band was called Vows. They were the opener. Gojira was the middle group. Yeah, Deftones was the headliner, and it was a killer show. I'm not gonna lie, it was.
Yeah, I guess.
But I feel like Gojira actually owned the show. To be honest, I feel like I had to give them the credit. But Deftones, I started having at least a little bit more appreciation for what they were doing. At first, I was kind of a little iffy because the singer, he was kind of just more into getting the audience pump up instead of doing the quality of the song, because I know that.
Yeah.
So, but he got better as it got along, and then I think going back, I was thinking like I probably judged him a little too quick, but it was still an absolute killer show and everything. So,
Yeah, I can imagine.
I guess let's jump into COVID a little bit. I guess how bad did it impact you?
On a personal level, not that much, to be honest, because I never stopped working when the COVID hit, because I'm a programmer, so I work on computers and I could work from home. So when it hit, we got offered the opportunity to work from home, and I was like, yeah, screw it, I just do it. So I never stopped working for that. And well, obviously band-wise, music-wise, it was really hard. So that's when I really started to put up a little bit more videos, because that's when I first got the place where I'm at right now. Like COVID hit a month later or so. So the first part, we had a curfew and all that stuff. We couldn't go everywhere like we wanted when it first started. So I think it was the most impactful. That's the aspect that the COVID impacted the most, was really my bands and my music. But on personal level, it was not that bad, to be honest. Like we're not people that like to go out that often and see friends every weekend and all that stuff. And our family are just next on the other side of the river, so we have a ferry to take that takes like 2.5 hours to go the other side. So it wasn't. We were not really impacted by this. So it went quite well, to be honest.
I guess, did you guys have any scares with COVID or anything like that?
To catch it, first and foremost.
Oh, that.
Well, we have our vaccines and all that. We got it earlier, end of July, early August. We had it because my girlfriend's parents were were visiting. So we caught it from them. Uh, it lasted a few weeks, like especially the smell and the taste thing. I don't know if you had COVID, but yeah, losing taste and smell is quite it sucks to be honest. And when both of us cannot smell or taste anything, like we cannot take any chances. So we didn't buy any meat and all that stuff because we couldn't tell if it was bad or not. So we just end up eating like I don't know chicken nuggets from the from the freezer and all that. So yeah, it was quite bad, but. Except having like a big fever, it was okay. It was a little bit hard, but it ended up quick.
I see. Yeah. I'll say I don't even know if I ever had COVID, to be honest, because I was kind of the same way. I was able to work from home for my job too. So
Yeah.
and I would say it was more like the after effects of after getting the vaccines and stuff, especially in such a short time frame too. So first one went okay, and then the second one was kind of like I feel a little uneasy, but nothing serious or anything like that. It just kind of I think it made me feel tired, or it felt weird. If I don't know if that makes sense, but it just felt
totally.
weird. So
Yeah, you feel that there's something going on in your body when you get the vaccine.
well, it was more the second one. The first one was just like oh there you are. Good to have you in here.
Yeah, right.
Oh good. Hey.
Almost the same thing. Yeah, first one was okay. Next one, we're like, oh, my legs hurt.
Yeah. Or like this pain in my arm, or something's going on my spine, or something like that.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, what's going on here? I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it seemed like being introverted in a certain way. I guess. Would you say you're kind of introverted?
I think I'm a mix of both. Like, no, I'm not really an introverted, but I'm not an extroverted as either because I like to talk to people. Oops, sorry. I like to talk to people, and I'm really easygoing in general. But I like to do my own stuff on my own sometimes, and like just talk to nobody, and that's fine too. So I'm not one or the other. I'm like right in between.
I would like to say I'm kind of the same way too, but I feel like slightly a bit more introverted, to be honest, because normally, actually, taking the second job at the restaurant kind of helped with trying to get out and try to interact with people too. So
Oh yeah, sure.
So that was definitely good too. I guess. Have you worked multiple jobs before outside of like being with a group and being a programmer?
Oh, I had like well maybe two jobs before I had my job as a programmer. I was working in a grocery store mainly for a couple of years, and then I worked in a hardware store during one summer. And so I was always dealing with people and the public and all that stuff. So it was easy for me, but that's all I can recall as far as job goes. I think these were the two main jobs that I had.
I see. Yeah, and I think it would seem like having the two jobs. One can be used to help pay your bills and stuff like that too. So that was the big benefit too. And I guess how crazy has the price of gas been in Canada?
Oh God. uh, as far as the gas price go, we're a little bit unlucky about that because on other regions of Quebec, like Montreal and Quebec City and all that, the gas price is lower than where we are. So it's still a hefty price, to be honest, but we don't go out really often, like when we do groceries and go to the drugstore and all that stuff. But other than that, we don't really go out. So we try to, I don't know, just don't abuse of the cars.
Yeah. No long car trips or anything like that. Road trip.
Yeah, right. No road trip. No.
Yeah. We got, let's see, Bruce or Mike Lewis and all that's the boys out there in the western half of Canada. That's our region.
Yeah.
So, all right. I guess how's Canada been in terms of the COVID policies? Have they at least loosened somewhat, or is Trudeau kind of a little on over the cuckoo's nest? Because that seems to be what people are saying these days.
Well, we're not really impacted by Trudeau's way of dealing with COVID. It was more of a provincial thing. Like in Quebec, in the province of Quebec, we each have our own government. So it was more of our like Quebec prime minister that dealt with COVID. But sometimes Trudeau would do like certain politics, and our prime minister in Quebec was like, "Nah, we could do that." Like I don't know, we could do that differently, or but it was not that bad, to be honest. It was not like over the top stuff. I know some people might say that was too much or anything like that. There's always going to be like people that I don't know, just dislikes everything that the government do. So
Do tell that sort of thing. I know. There's
yeah,
definitely more of the conservative side who seems to think that Trudeau's kind of a little one over the cuckoo's nest, if you know what I mean. I'll have to
no
kind of throw that in one there, but I don't,
politics.
politics, yes.
Oh, politics.
I don't know. It's the bane of our existence or something like that. So, all right. Well, let's jump into these different questions here. So these ones are a little bit more fun. So let's
Okay.
just answer them as best you can. So I guess favorite food.
Oh my God. Why? I don't know why, but I think I expected a question like that. Favorite food. Oh my
Psychic.
God. Yeah.
Psychic. There we go.
Favorite food. Do I have a favorite food? Oh.
French toast.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
But yeah, I like everything. Honestly, I'm not. God, I'm not gonna say poutine, but like the typical Quebec food. No, I like poutine, but it's not my favorite. I just like a bunch of stuff. I like sushis though, poke bowls as well. I like those, and so once in a while, it's great to have that. But no, I'm not. I don't have a favorite food specifically.
yeah, it kind of gets a little tough, but it seems like everyone wants to go to the greasy stuff too, especially
Yeah.
the way like some pizzas are or all the burgers. Any deep fried stuff. I know there's the fish, fries, onion rings, the wings, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
actually, I got one that was ramen. Actually, and
Oh,
that
really?
was Alice, and that one was actually a pleasant surprise because
Yeah.
she's out in the UK there. So I
Oh,
was actually pleasantly surprised. She said ramen of all
ramen.
in a good way. In a good way. It was just an unexpected. It was just an unexpected answer, to be honest. So
Yeah, right. Totally.
yeah, and you're currently married, right? Or is
No, we're just in a relationship. She's my spouse. We're not married. We're not really focused on weddings here in Quebec as much as you guys might do in the US. But we've been together for 13 years now. But no, marriage is not really an option for us.
we're keeping it the best friends, and we just happen to go out on date night. But here's a question: describe the perfect date night for you and your spouse.
Oh my God. It's kind of hard because we cannot go really to any kind of restaurants because she has a celiac disease. She's intolerant to gluten. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, it's not easy to go out with that. So we tend to just make food at home and just having fun with this. And I have to be in total control of the kitchen. So so going out in places that may have cross contaminations and all of that, it's not for us. So if we had to go to a specific restaurant where they are 100% gluten free, then we would go there, obviously. But I think oh my God, perfect date,
I guess any of
man.
those walk in the parks, go to a show or something and stuff like
Oh
that. Yeah.
yeah, we like to walk a lot, like going to the parks, walk in forests. Where we come from, we both come from the same city. We went, both of us went to Rimouski for our studies, and where we came from, there's a lot of woods and pine trees and all that. It's up a little bit north of Quebec, so yeah, taking walks in the woods. I think it's one of our favorite things to do.
I see. Yeah. All right. That's a good story there. No,
Yeah.
I would have thought getting romantic under the bright moonlight and stuff like that, and then
Well, no, we're not cheesy. Yes.
nah, we're not going that far and stuff like that.
No, no, no.
Or they come back to your place for dessert, that sort of thing. So,
No.
all right. But favorite color,
Oh, I like red, obviously.
obviously.
Blue. I like blue as well.
White.
Not well.
I was doing
Home staging. Yes.
red, white,
Home
blue.
staging. Yes.
He's more American than he is Canadian.
Yeah, right.
He's showing the Patriot colors, then, man.
No, it's for the Montreal Canadiens, the hockey team.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's fair.
Nah, red. I think I should say red.
More red.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned red because "Do Seeing Red" by Chevelle. I imagine that'd be a nice drum cover for you to do.
What?
The Red, actually, sorry. The song's called "The Red" and it's by the band Chevelle. And I thought that'd be...
never heard of it. No, I never heard that.
It's a good song. I recommend checking it out, and then you could do a drum cover for that song too. So I'll let you.
Okay, sure.
Figured it was appropriate for the
Yeah.
totally wearing red and then seeing red too, that sort of thing too. All right.
Nice segue.
Yeah. All right. What's the one food you would eat in a desperate situation? Let's say like you can't really do the grocery stores, so would you like eat bugs, for instance?
Oh.
Apocalyptic scenario, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing.
Apocalyptic. Yeah. I guess bugs. Yeah. If I'm really desperate, maybe like domestic animals like cats or dogs or something like that. Well, man, that's a tough question.
I don't know. I think if you had to do the dog,
You got me there.
it would have to be down China Street or in Chinatown somewhere. I forget what the joke was for my dad, but it was like a dog should not go like down, let's just say China Street for lack of a better term, because they'll just cook anything up really. So it's kind of unfortunate too. So it could get really dark. That sort of thing. All right, and last one is favorite movie.
Oh, I think I would say the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes. Man, I love you.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I think that's most, and it aged well. Let's be honest, it aged very well compared to other movies that were made in the same time frame, and it's just still a go-to movie.
Yeah.
To watch. It's just still so well made, and it's just the I don't know. I can't think of any more movies than the Lord of the Rings, to be honest.
Like I said, did you see that Rings of Power yet, or is that something? Still...
No, haven't watched that. I've watched the Hobbit, maybe the first two movies. And I think I watched like some parts of the third one. It was okay. It was decent movies, but the Rings of Power, no, never watched it.
I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know if it's available because it's on Amazon Prime right now. It's them trying to get into the TV series business too, so it'd be interesting. I just know one of my friends, he kind of wrote kind of a little meme about it, but it was more like kind of ripping on Amazon for butchering a good series, that sort of thing. So
yeah,
I'm a little worried now. So I think I might have to be the judge of that. So
yeah.
did you see the extended editions or just the originals?
Oh man, you're gonna hate me for that. I never really had the chance to watch the extended versions. Yeah, I know.
Actually, yeah, it fills in so many
points,
gaps.
Huh? Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, so it definitely helped. It was a little bit.
Yeah.
It made it a little bit longer, so they like broke it out. It was like they broke it out into two separate chapters for each movie because I guess it just added that much more minutes.
Man, that's crazy.
I think each one was like over 2 hours and maybe close to 3 hours. I think the Two Towers was like almost 3 hours, to be honest. So, it's
lengthy movies.
The movies, yeah, but even the original too. That one was almost 3 hours long. Just watching.
Yeah, they were quite long. Just the shorter versions, they were quite long, to be honest. So I think just imagine the extended versions is like a marathon.
Yeah, I think we tried doing it one day. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it.
It's like a whole day.
It's wasted a whole day. Yeah, so you can see why. All right. Well, good to see you. We got a Lord of the Rings fan. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
All right. All
Yes.
right. So, Michael, we're just part of the podcast. We're now give my interviewees a little bit for him to ask me anything or just anything you'd like to get off your chest. So, what you got?
What do you have planned for your channel?
I've really been kind of rolling with what I'm doing, but I seem to like kind of jump around a little bit, which kind of makes it look bad and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
I always did want the drum covers part, but I feel like I want to just move that to like live streaming. But the thing is,
Okay.
my basement kind of makes like an L shape here, so my drum set's like over there.
Oh, okay.
So I think the funny thing is, instead of like just buying like a separate camera, I think I would just use an extension cord from my computer here and just like drag it over to the table over there.
Yeah.
Literally just put it there, and then everything else just plug into the audio interface. It would take some tweaking here and there, but that's what I think I would want to do. And then just if I ever got collaborations here and there, I would post those. I do want to get back into getting the vlogging, but I got to figure
Okay.
out what all I want to cover, and then can I do it on a consistent basis? That's kind of the big question. So a couple things. I would like to maybe do a little bit more talking. I want to get Q&As or a nice little talk show
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So because at least when you monetize, you at least are able to make money that way. So eventually, I wanna get
Original content. Yeah.
yeah, at least then when it's just talking, they won't question anything, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So that'd be the idea, but it would be nice. I thought I was on a track to get to 200, but it always stalls a little bit, so I'm always a little pumped about that.
Yeah.
So
I've experienced that, so I think you just have to keep going. Anyway, that's all that we get told every time. Keep going, and eventually you'll get there. So
yeah,
I think that's all we have to do.
gotta trudge along slowly, which it's the unfortunate thing, but it's what you have to go with. All right.
Yeah, you'll get there eventually. And do you have any? Would you like to be in a band eventually?
It's tough because I think I told you I worked 2 jobs. I got a main one, which I work for a bank, and then the second one's with a local family restaurant. They're friends of our family,
Okay.
and I go and help out there on the evenings on some days, and it tends to get a little bit hectic down there sometimes because it's a small restaurant, but we get good crowds every now and again, especially when we got karaoke night. That's a bit of a fun thing
Oh.
too. Yeah, but and that one's good too because that helps with paying the bills and stuff like that. So it's good to have a second job, and then on top of this podcasting YouTube channel, trying to get my Patreon page rolling, and I've always seen people with like a Teespring, like a t-shirt business. So I'm thinking like, should I try that? I think I need a little bit more, like a little bit more art or like some sort of sayings here and there. I know one was like hate and then put in parentheses don't need it, that sort of thing.
Okay, right.
That'd be a good one.
So you don't really have time to invest in a band.
It would be nice. I think maybe like a session musician work would be nice.
Oh, okay.
I think the problem is with me, I would not want to do touring, for instance. If it would be like every now and again to go play like at a bar, because I was actually going to try to be in a cover band, but I was just like auditioning for them because we were doing like 90s alternative music.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. Sorry for the loud noise. Somebody threw a bolt of lightning or something.
Yeah.
But
I heard that.
the thing was, I only went for like 2 sessions, and then they found somebody else. It was there was mutual. It wasn't anything bad or anything like that. So
Okay. No hard feelings and all that.
yeah, that sort of thing. The thing was, it's hard business finding time, and I didn't want to keep overloading myself up here and everything because then it stresses me out, and I think it's disrupting my sleep pattern a little bit. So I think I gotta fix that sort of thing. So it's hard to invest in a business. So I wouldn't mind doing session musician work. I just want to do it on my time, and I'll get it to you as best I can.
At your pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, understandable. Honestly.
Have you ever tried like a session musician work too?
I've recorded drums for a few artists. Like I've written original tracks for a guitar player in Norway, and I did 3 songs with him, and he put out videos of it. And other than that, I never really done other than we have I had asked by someone in the U.S. I don't remember where he's from, and he plays prog metal, and he wanted me to come up with a drum track for his song, and but I never saw the song come out. I never heard of the guy again, so I don't know where it's going. But yeah, I've done a few songs as a session guy, but I think it was something I would like to do as well, especially if you just tell me what I should play or just hey do whatever you want. So I do okay, fine, I'll do that, and I'll send this to you when it's done. So I think it would be a fun thing to do. But obviously, with my job as well, I don't have two jobs, but yeah, with all the adult life stuff going on, and so I have little time every week. I just go to my studio like an hour and a half or 2 hours a week, so I don't have really much time to do all that stuff.
Or having three jobs, that sort of thing. So, yeah. All right. Did you have any other questions or anything else you want to get off your chest?
Oh, not really for now.
I'll come to him later. That's his thing.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That's what happens.
Really,
Yeah, it was like, oh shit.
yeah.
We had to do part
Let's
two.
go. Oh, you got me off guard.
Yeah, I didn't have time to prepare
No.
this. Actually, to be fair, I probably should have actually. I think I gotta let my interviewees know about this like sooner because I know I always send a message with like all the questions and stuff. So, but normally I would expect it just to be like simple questions and stuff like that. But if you want to think of a fun question real quick,
A fun question. Your favorite kind of songs to play? What would be?
well, I think I don't know if you saw my channel to be honest, but
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
I do more of the death metal and heavy metal that sort of thing too. But I've done more of both thrower if anything. I would say that was been the band I covered the most. So I become the Mike Conway of both thrower to be honest, because you see him like playing all the Van Halen kind of stuff. That's kind of like
Yeah.
his niche where he kind of stays in everything too. So I find that fun because it's not overtly difficult. There's a bit of a challenge to it, but it's not overtly difficult per se.
Yeah.
And that's kind of music I want to get to. I know I've done a couple with Napalm Death, which at times can be a bit of a challenge, but it's like still doable and a little bit fun to do.
Yeah.
And after that, it's kind of like jumped around. I think I've done a couple Anthrax right now.
Okay.
I forget some of the artists, but I know I kind of jumped around doing that kind of music. It's mostly rock, hard rock, metal, death metal, that sort of thing. So
more of the heavier stuff. Huh?
oh yeah.
And what would be your guilty pleasure band to listen to?
I mean, I've gone dark a couple times to be honest. I mean,
Oh yeah.
some of them in the black metal scene at times because there are some like killer covers and stuff. I'd say the American versions are a lot different than the Scandinavian or the Eastern European ones.
Yep.
Eastern Europeans tend to, I would say production's maybe not the greatest. It sounds a little bit jumbled, kind of a little meshed. I don't know what really with the word because it doesn't sound the greatest to be honest, but it's all blast beating and stuff like that too. And like the Americans, there's a little bit of a cleanerness to it, but there's also catchy riffs at times.
Yeah.
So I have listened to some of the darker bands like Incantation, Dicide, Morbid Angel, and stuff like that. So I have gone to the dark side just to
Dark side of the force.
just to wanted to get an understanding of it because I have respect for the musician and the musicianship kind of work too. I don't agree obviously with the lyrical content and anything like that, but it's kind of what I call controlled darkness, so to speak.
Oh.
You kind of
I like the phrasing of that.
well, I'm trying to describe it too. It would be more like just getting involved in dark art or stuff like that, because that's really what it is. But
yeah,
but you still keep whatever it is, maybe your ethics or religion and stuff like that too. So that's kind of like what I would call it. So
okay. Well, most of the time when I listen to music, and especially like more black dark metal thing, I rarely pay attention to the lyrics. To be honest, I just there for the music, and if the music sounds good, I'm gonna like it no matter what. So
yeah, I'm the same way too. So that's why mostly just listen to it for the guitar work, and then I'm just hoping none of the lyrics come through. It's still incoherent, so that's kind of the hope. So, all right. So, do you have anything else before we jump to the last question?
No, I think that's all for me for now.
All right. All right. So, last question here.
Yes.
This one I always like to ask, even though the answers may seem cliche and stuff like that. But what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians out there?
Oh, yeah, that question, yeah. Of course, it's going to be cliche as hell, but message of hope. I think you just have to give time, you know, just let things go, and eventually it will all settle down. And if you're the kind of musicians that play in a band, just if you have an opportunity to play, just do it. Like, screw it, do it. Just make the most out of it as much as you can. And I think, how can I say? You know, I know it's been hard for most of us, like everyone in the music world. I'm not going to say industry. We're not in the industry at all. But yeah, just do whatever it takes to play, simply. Just make the most out of it. Just have fun. And eventually, like I said, everything will settle down. Like the COVID will start to be more like a flu thing eventually. So just whenever you have the occasion, just play. Whether it be alone or with other musicians in a gig, at a bar or anything, just do it. And eventually just be normal, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to phrase that.
yeah, I get what you mean too. It's a little bit tough, and I know people have to kind of fall back on the cliches too. But I always say, spoke like a true prodigy. That's our thing. But
yeah. So and one thing that I should say is it's hard for me because I've never had a real conversation, like a one-on-one conversation with someone in English. It's like I think it's my first time ever that I had a conversation with someone in English, only in English.
This one.
So, yeah.
All right, we got the first.
Yeah.
We against
So
the first.
you're my first one. You're my first one.
All right, we are.
Because usually I don't do that. I just don't. I know my English, like reading and all that, but just speaking like that out of my mind, like that, it's not easy. But yeah.
I was trying to think of I don't know if it's pronounced right, but I was like, voulez-vous coucher avec moi, Michael? I don't know. I don't know. Actually, no, that was a South Park kind of thing too, because I know Eric Cartman. I don't know. Have you ever watched South Park actually?
Oh yeah, a bit. Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
I think he was just doing some bad French, to be honest, because I know.
Maybe.
In one of his little dialogues, he was just kind of saying like, when Hitler rose to power, there people just stopped fighting. You know who those people were? The French. Are you French, Clyde? And then he just says, voulez-vous coucher avec moi, Clyde? That sort of thing. So.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
So I don't know. Is that actually French or is that just bad, mushed together sort of thing? Gibberish.
Yeah, right.
I guess so. All right. Since Mikael here doesn't understand it, then it means it's bad French. So
yeah, right.
That's good to hear. All right.
So yeah, you're my first one. So.
All right. Mikael, we reached this part at the end where my podcast is pretty much done. So, I guess, do you have any shout outs or anything you want to do before we close this out?
Well, of course, go watch Brian's channel, of course, and sub to his channel. And if you want to see my videos as well, just go there. Maybe you'll be pleased, maybe not. Who knows? But just keep on rocking, man. All
right, sounds good. Yeah, I got a couple more questions for you, but I need my people to tune into my Patreon page so they can hear these questions out. So this is we're going to end this part of the podcast right here. So if everyone wants to tune in, make sure you head on over to my Patreon page. I'll leave it down in the description below. So everyone stay safe. Stay tuned, y'all.